when you take a step back and you look at what Kirby Smart and company have not just accumulated, but also kept around, this is one of the best moments of his 7 years at Georgia in terms of the quarterback room. Um, the best quarterback room he ever had was the moment Justin Fields came on campus for the 2017 national championship game when he was just walking around. That was Justin, Jake Fromm, and Jacob Eason. In terms of pure talent, they've never had three guys like that in a row. But those three guys were never really in the same room for a competitive season. Now, currently, you have these four quarterbacks: a national championship winning quarterback, which no one else in college football has. Alabama fans, listen, save your tears for some other place. We're not talking about backups. We're talking about starting quarterbacks. Okay, uh, no one's calling Jake Fromm um, a national championship quarterback. I shouldn't have said Fromm. Fromm wasn't on a team that won the national championship. Even no one's calling. No one's calling Carson Beck a national championship winning quarterback because he didn't start. So anyway, you've got a national championship quarterback, the only one that's returning in college football. You've got Carson Beck, who is a state champion at the largest classification in Florida. Uh, and I'll get to Carson in a second. You've got Brock Vandegrift, who is a state champion in Georgia's smallest classification, but a state champion nonetheless. Had to fight his way through for that one. And then you've got Gunnar Stockton, who broke all sorts of production records, whether you're talking about Deshaun Watson's touchdown record or Trevor or whoever it was, the total yards, all this stuff that he accomplished while he was at Raven. This is the best quarterback room that Kirby's had so far at Georgia. Um, I'm not sure if it's the best one he'll ever have. It might be because any more guys are going to transfer or they're just not going to come. And that's their prerogative. I mean, this is the world we live in college football today. And I'm not hating on it, man. I mean, I get it. We have seen over time that the person who starts the season as a starter at Georgia does not necessarily finish it. We'll go through this again. Definitely, Grayson Lambert started the season. He definitely did not even finish the first game. Everyone saw that coming, but that's number one. Number two, a season later, Jacob Eason starts the first game, never starts again at Georgia. Jake Fromm. 2020, Dwan Mathis starts the game against Arkansas. Stetson finishes it. He doesn't even make it through the season without JT Daniels becoming the starting quarterback by the end of the year. But Mathis loses his starting job. He was a starter at the beginning of the season. And then you had 2021, where, of course, JT Daniels starts the season, really does not play well against Clemson. And some of that was Clemson, but some of that was his injury. Some of that was just wasn't working. He did not play well in that game. Um, he did not play well against Cincinnati and yet drove the team down the field to win. The guy never lost a game as a starter at Georgia. Of course, he lost that starting position to Stetson because of injury. And by the time we came down to crunch time at the end of the year, you wouldn't take the starting job from Stetson. He was playing too well. So we don't know who will finish the season at Georgia, but we do know who the starter is going into it, and that's Stetson. We also know that if you get DAWGSTRUCTION today, you will get, okay, DAWGSTRUCTION, 80-page, full color. You get our magazine for free. There it is. We just got this, as I've been warning y'all. It's along the way. It's got some really cool stuff in it. Obviously, we have a very long story about Stetson in here that you can see. It'd be best if you ordered it. And then we talk with Stetson about sort of the end of his season, the end of his time, a story there by Anna Ruth about the season. So also got something in here about the explosive plays that Kirby wants to see. If you don't live in Athens, the only way for you to get this is by ordering down below. You can pick it up in Athens at Red Zone, which is downtown on Clayton, but they have a limited number of copies. So, and it's tough out there because I'm not I mean, we've printed all we're going to print of these. Get this today. The link is down below. This quarterback room, you could see multiple guys in this room be starting national champions. You've already got one. I don't think it's a stretch at all to say that either Carson, Brock, or Gunner can win this national championship at Georgia. The program's too good. The program's too good. Now, I was still going to talk about Carson Beck. He is the person in position as it stands right now to be the starter should something happen to Stetson. He was in position to be the starter should something happen to JT Daniels a year ago. The question is, has Carson Beck progressed in a way that he did not a season ago? I don't know the answer to that. I don't. I'm not I'm not casting doubt. I don't know the answer. I doubt he would make the same mistake twice, if you want to call it a mistake. I doubt that. Well, first of all, Stetson Bennett is not hanging around these dogs, hanging around to be in the way of of him ascending to the starting position. But for Carson, you know, if I were Carson, I would be fighting all I can to rip away reps from Stetson Bennett. There's two reasons. First of all, selfishly, I would want to play. Secondly, it's great competition inside the program, and it gives everybody the ability to develop. I don't understand why dogs got to bark so much. Get your dog. Um, and for Carson, we don't know when he will be in there at critical times. Stetson is not a big person. He can get injured. If you're not a big person, you can get injured and be out. So it is definitely time for Carson to be ready to go. He's played in college games. He's been around for I think this is his third fall. He has to be ready. Brock has not played a legitimate snap in college football. Carson really hasn't either, a legitimate snap, but he's played snaps, and he's played snaps in 2 straight seasons. Carson got ready for the UAB game as a possible starter in that game. He's got to be ready to go. He's got the confidence of a lot of insiders, and I guess they feel like they know him. So it is go time for Carson to try to take away some of these snaps from Stetson. Doesn't mean I'm not suggesting Stetson's not going to be the starter. I'm not suggesting that someone deserves something or another. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying it's time to fight for the snaps because in in this program particularly, no job is safe. It's just not. And we've literally seen that with quarterbacks where a guy can get sidetracked somehow and then they get replaced or with an injury and they get replaced straight up for the rest of the year. Or they can just not play well like Dwan in 20 or Stetson in 20 and you'll get replaced. If somebody's coming along, they will supplant you as a starting quarterback at Georgia. We saw this at Clemson. That was not exactly a hard decision to make by Dabo, but it was a decision that was made. These things happen in college football. It happened in Alabama. We've seen that before in the past as well. So I think that Carson's development is one of the most important things to watch coming into 22. How confident is he? I spent time in Jacksonville with Carson twice before he got to Georgia, and he was talking about what you have to be a good quarterback. And he was talking about, leading and the way in which you lead. And it's different for different guys. I do think you have to be who you are. I think you have to be authentic and you have to make plays. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. You really got to be able to do both. And the big important thing for Carson coming into 22 is to push Stetson as much as possible because Stetson needs to develop as well. Apparently he has been, but Stetson needs to develop as well. This team, if it's going to accomplish the goals it wants, is going to have playmaking ability from its quarterbacks. Quarterback starting for sure, but certainly certainly the starting quarterback. This guy did it. He got the job done when his back was against the wall. For all of the shit Stetson takes and all of the haters, when it came down to it, to win the national championship, Stetson got the job done when he had to get it done. That he threw them down the field, and eventually he hit A.D. Mitchell for the game-winning play. Bryce Young is capable of that. C.J. Stroud is capable of that. There are guys capable of that. DJ Uiagalelei is not capable of that until he proves it. Max Johnson is not capable of doing that until he proves it. He did that against Florida once. There's not a lot of guys in college football you can say, hey, this guy can get that sort of thing done. Georgia's got one. Do they have multiple guys like that? We don't know. We'll find out.